You're listening to the Elitists podcast, a weekly StarCraft 2 interview podcast.
Hell, it's about
Alright, everybody. Hello.
Woo!
Welcome. We're live, finally. Welcome to
Awesome.
the Canada Day special of the Elitist podcast. For all you guys know, weekly StarCraft 2 interviews and such. Today, my guest is a little bit of a surprise to the community during the StarCraft 2 beta. He was an unknown before. I think sort of came out of the woodwork. His name is Chris Loranger, and many know him as Huk. I think I've heard nicknames like Huk Norris and
Stuff.
the
The Incredible Huk. I don't know what else.
Where did the name Huk come from?
I think a Korean person gave it to me, a Korean friend, way back when, years and years ago, and then it just kind of stuck.
Do you know what it means or anything like that?
Well, it's like a reaction, a surprised reaction or action in Korean. It's like Huk, I don't know, it's like, oh my god. I'm like picturing like a little anime cartoon or something in my brain, and then guys like saying Huk, I don't know. It's something like that, and I'm sure other people could say it better.
Fair enough. And also, for those listening at home, because July 1st is tomorrow, and because I, the show host, am a selfish Canadian, I decided to make this a Canada Day special, and Huk is also Canadian.
Yes, this is true. It's very true.
There's not many Canadians playing the StarCrafts, but the few that do, I'm pretty happy with. And
Oh, there's a good number of us, I guess. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of good Canadian players.
fair enough. I know there's Slush and Kiwi Kaki, but
Drewby.
Druby, right? Okay. Well,
Yeah, and Duck, who's unknown, but he's pretty good too.
Duck. Oh man, I can't wait to see that game. Duck versus Huk.
We've actually played a few times in some European tournaments, pretty deep too.
Oh no, I want to see that commentated.
Oh, Duck and Huk. I told him he has to change the spelling, so he has it like D-U-K-K-E. I just change it to D-U-K, and we'd be like brothers, Canadian brothers.
There's, what's another thing though is that out of all of the Canadian gamers I always run into, there's not very that many that usually are from Ontario, like you are, like I am.
Well, technically, I'm not originally from here, but yeah, I guess. Most of them are kind of Quebec or some other weird place.
Or what's his name, Noni, who's like from Alberta or something weird like that.
I didn't even know Noni was Canadian. Wow.
Yep. Surprising to most people, he's actually a Canadian player. So let's start with old Huk, the Huk of the past. So where did you get your start in gaming?
Oh, like when I'm like just a little kid playing like Super Mario Bros, or are we talking like RTS?
Let's start with the beginning of the story. Let's start with what...
Okay. I guess the first Super Mario's or whatever that was on the rectangular control. I don't know what it's called. I know people are gonna be like, "Wow, you're not a nerd. You don't know what that system's called." But like the first Mario, I guess would be. Well, no, Atari was before that, and I played that. I'm not really sure, man. Started a long time ago. I've always played games for as long as I can remember. I think my aunt and uncle first introduced them to me. My godparents, but ever since then I've just been playing a wide range of games.
Now, what came first, getting into RTS or getting into competitive gaming?
Getting into RTS for sure. I mean, before RTS, I think I played like random console games or whatever, just because I didn't really have a computer, and it wasn't that big, obviously. But as soon as I picked up Warcraft 2, I got pretty committed to that. You know, as much as you can get committed as like a little kid and not caring really. And then gradually I moved to StarCraft on the N64. I remember playing that with a friend and my brothers, and we used to complete noob style. We'd always lose to a computer, so we'd have to float off to each other's base or something to survive that first initial rush against whatever race. That was pretty fun. And then after that, I just started playing online, and then learned about the competitive scene. And as a competitive person, went from there and just got more involved and got more competitive.
Okay, because when we interviewed QXC last week, he had a similar story. Like, he played Brood War as well, but both of you kind of made your arrival once in the StarCraft 2 beta. So did you just not play early enough or long enough to get into the competitive scene of Brood War, or did you just not make a splash until then?
I don't know. I consider myself a pretty good StarCraft 1 player when I was playing it. I mean, my team, I was sponsored. Like, I had not a great income from StarCraft 1, but I was sponsored for part of the time where I was getting paid to play it for a certain team. I was playing for Keeper back in the day. We were making a run for WGT Clan League Division 1, which was the place to be in the foreign scene as far as a team. Like, all the top teams were in that league. It'd be TOT, LRM, IG, Xello, teams like that. And we made a run for it. And we were actually in the B division, working our way to Division 1. And I was the top player for my team. I played 1v1s, 2v2. I was a Terran player. And I was beating a lot of really known good players at the time. And then just as we were about to move up, there was a map hack bust kind of thing in the scene where basically a lot of players got caught map hacking, and it was half of my team got caught map hacking, and obviously as soon as they got caught, a lot of our results got reversed and our team got disqualified, among with a lot of other players from StarCraft 1. I don't remember who remembers that. I know Xeris must remember it for sure, but yeah, I wasn't caught map hacking, but whenever someone hears Keeper, that was around then, our team got caught, and they automatically assume if you were associated with that team, you're a map hacker, but I really wasn't. And sorry to go on this little rant, but
hey, you're being interviewed.
I beat a lot of good players. I remember playing Noni a few times on different maps. I have one, I don't know why I have selective memory, but I played him once on Gaia, which was one of my favorite TVP maps, and I beat him, and it was a really long game, and he wasn't as good as he was at the end of StarCraft 1, of his StarCraft 1 career, but he was on the rise then, and I beat him a few times. I beat Dino, who was a notorious map hacker, and I beat him while he had map hacks, and he was smurfing for Zealous or something for this big show match. I never competed at WCG or was playing for a major team, so I wasn't really that noticed, but I have high I-Cup ranks are pretty high, where I topped out at A- 1v1, A+ 2v2, but 2v2 I kind of cheated because I had a pro gamer, a real or amateur pro gamer, I don't know what you want to call him. His ID was by Cozy, and his I-Cup ID was Spire, and he was A+ in the 1v1 rankings, and I'm season 8 or 9 or something, and then I was partnering some Korean kid named Ace too, so I don't know. I did pretty good, but I wasn't really well known as much as a lot of the EG guys or Noni or some other people.
Well, do the people who count know you? Were you known amongst the player circles, I guess?
No, I wasn't. No, I don't think Noni would remember me from SC1. I know a few people would remember from. I would be more recognized from my team that got caught map hacking than actually me as a player. Okay. So, I mean...
Was your name Huk back then still?
Yeah, me and Drewby were actually in that team together, and I think Katz was maybe too from Root, maybe for a short period of time. Me and Drewby used to be old teammates in SC1 for the same team, which was Keeper. He didn't map hack either, just to clarify that. But we always had a bad rap because, we came from that team, and it was notorious for map hacking.
Alrighty. Now, another thing that you said about 10 seconds, or about a minute and a half ago or so, is that you were a Terran player in Brood War. Now, I'm actually very interested into why certain players' race changed, and from what I've seen, a lot of the Terran players switched to Zerg when the game did, but you switched to Protoss. Is there something that appealed to the Protoss playstyle, or anything in particular that made you want to be a Protoss player?
Not really. It was more, I was a fanboy of Bisu in SC1. I liked a lot of the strategies he did back when he was doing well. I mean, I was the biggest fan of Lemuel Han, but I liked Bisu's play, and I just felt like I needed a change. I didn't want to keep playing Terran since I've been playing Terran for so long in SD1. So, I mean, it was going to be Protoss or Zerg. I didn't want to keep playing Terran. I needed something new, I guess. And